Willie, we have a lot we're going to be getting to today. I just want to clarify for our friends on Capitol Hill and on both sides of Pennsylvania Avenue. The Constitution, Article 1, Section 4, Clause 1.
That one.
The Constitution, just in case there are any questions with Mike Johnson or Donald Trump or anybody in the Senate, and I don't think there is in the Senate, locals, the state governments, they run elections. It's black and white. It's in the United States Constitution. This has been the way it has always been in the United States. So, oh, there we go. Clause 1. I'm going to read it slowly for our friends on Capitol Hill. Clause 1. Elections clause, the times, places, and manner of holding elections for senators and representatives shall be prescribed by each state, by the legislature thereof. But the Congress may, at time, by law, make after such regulations, except for places of Cushing senators. So if Congress wants to get involved and pass something, they can pass something. But it is the states who, at the end of the day, run this, not the President of the United States. And you have Steve Bannon saying they're going to swarm, ICE is going to swarm polling locations. No, they're not. No court's going to allow that to happen. And you have Mike Johnson actually playing into it. Mike Johnson, how low can he go? I actually am very disappointed. Mike Johnson now playing into these conspiracy theories, going, well, one candidate was ahead and then he fell behind, and that seemed to happen. That's elections. Ask everybody. I've been behind on early in elections, and they're saying, "How you doing?" Well, doing really well. We're going to win. When we project, sometimes you'll look and it'll say a candidate may be behind by a percentage point or two, and NBC or ABC or CBS will project the other candidate the winner because they know where the votes are all coming in from. This is such garbage and nonsense, but they keep doing it.
Speaker Johnson is a constitutional lawyer, we should point out. That was his practice.
Wow.
He deployed that skill around the 2020 election to help overturn it, but that's an entirely different conversation. But the point is, Speaker Johnson, of course, knows better. I think most, maybe not all, because we're familiar with some of the players here in Congress, but most understand what you just explained as we start the morning with civics class about the role of the states, about local municipalities in running elections for a reason. We don't nationalize elections. And you saw there, Donald Trump was very clear in that interview with Dan Bongino and then later yesterday about what he meant. The federal government should run the elections. Caroline Leavitt did her best to try to turn the conversation, say, no, he's talking about the SAVE Act, which is voter ID. That is explicitly not what he was talking about. And he made that clear when he came in on the other side of it. So Mike Johnson and others, enabling as ever, know better here. But as you say, feeding what is a dangerous conspiracy.
Yeah, and we're going to have at the top of 7, I believe, Chris Christie. Chris and I had a conversation years ago where he said, starting in March, April of 2020, Donald Trump started fearing he was going to lose the election. So he started talking nonstop about how the elections were going to be ripped off, how he was going to be cheated. And we'll talk to Chris later, but he said it was really something that he was already planning ahead in early 2020, knowing that he was going to lose. He was already planning ahead to claim it was ripped off. And now, with polls showing Democrats further behind or further ahead than ever before in the generic ballot test, Willie, he's doing the same thing again, saying the federal government should run elections. No, they should not. No president elected has ever said that. That has never happened, and it never will.
And he gives away the game. He just says it out loud. And then you twin that with the raid by the FBI in Fulton County, Georgia. You twin it with the request by the Justice Department that exchange for revised ICE tactics in Minnesota. We want your voter rolls. It all adds up to what you're describing here. Fear among Republicans, fear from the very top of the president that they might lose the election. And of course, maybe Donald Trump doesn't get it, but Mike Johnson and others understand that, yes, sometimes it takes a minute, and it's frustrating to all of us, and we've talked about ways to reform it. to count mail-in votes. So you might be behind when the polls close, or you might be ahead when the polls close, and you might still lose the election. They all know that. So why they're going along for the ride, for the benefit of the country, they shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
But I understand that they want to stay close to Trump and stay close to power. And apparently it's worth giving all this away for that.
No.
I mean, I've
excuse.
said time and time
None.
again in following elections, you know, and sometimes when I was sitting with the candidate himself,
Yeah.
you know, I'd say they'd be panicking and go, your absentee votes haven't come in yet. When they come in, you're going to win those 4-1 and you're going to go ahead. This happens all the time. Again, Mike Johnson knows that. And the fact that he claims to be a constitutional lawyer and also claims, I mean, I would love to see the Bible he reads from, because, I mean, he claims that he's like driven by the Bible. That's his sort of philosophy in governing. No, it's
curious.
not, Mike. No, it's not. Stop lying to the American people. Stop lying and stop letting the president say what he's saying. You're the number 3 ranking authority in the United States of America. You're number 3. You need to tell the president of the United States he's wrong. The Constitution, Article 1, Section 4, Clause 1, says states run it. The federal government does not. End this now.
Speak the truth. All right, those are all great points, and we're going to get to more of this later.